One of the activities I spend the most time doing is researching competitors. I do that both in my day job, where I'm a director of product management, but also in the startups that I invest in and that I consult with. I spend a lot of time looking at competitors and understanding how they're better and sometimes how they're worse at what they do. There's a few ways to research competitors if you want to do that. I'm going to give you a couple of tips today that help you understand how you can go out and research them. Before we get to that, though, I just want to warn you, there's a couple of camps here when it comes to competitors. There are some people who believe that you should not pay any attention whatsoever to what your competitors are doing. You should just focus on successfully running your business model. And parts of that I agree with, but I think if you're turning a blind eye to what your competitors are doing, you could be missing opportunities. So it's worthwhile to at least spend some time understanding what they do, what they offer, how they price it, and how they could be outperforming you. So some of the ways I love to research competitors is just starting out with good old-fashioned Google searches. You can get on the internet, you can search for competitors, you can just type in the industry that you're looking at, something like climate control. And I know for a fact, having done this myself, that immediately a list of companies that you could consider competitors will come up for you. There's a couple of other resources that are online tools that I like to use. Now, you could use a free version, which would be Google Keywords Research Tool, but I have a research tool called SERPstat. And it's a tool that I use to be able to go in and research competitors. It'll tell me who are the competitors that are posting the most information around a given topic, where they spend their time, how their social media presence is performing, all these different things. And that gives me an idea who the stronger competitors are in my marketplace. There's also another website that you can check out called SimilarWeb. And I use SimilarWeb to tell me information about how a competitor's website is performing, not necessarily the social media, although it has some of that in its content, but it'll tell me how their website's performing. How long are people spending on their website? How many page views did they get? Those types of tools can really help you with your research efforts. Now, beyond that, I also love to obviously sit down and talk to customers. And I've got 7 different questions I'm going to suggest to you that you can ask customers or potential customers to get a better idea about the competitors that are in your marketplace. So the first one is, what do you like about our competitors, our being you? What do you like about the competitor's product or service? Assuming that they've bought that product or service before, maybe they'll tell you what they really liked about it. You can follow that directly up with, what did you dislike about the competitor's product or service? That will tell you some places that you could maybe beat out your competition. How do our competitors' products or services compare to our own in terms of quality, price, and features? Now we're getting into comparison mode where they will hopefully be willing to share with you what they think about those different characteristics of your product or service. Have you considered using competitors' product or service? And if so, why? What factors influence your decision to use a competitor's product or service? And then the last 2, how do our competitors market their products or services? So there we're getting to how they're advertising and how people found those solutions. And the last question you can ask is, what sets our competitors apart from us in your eyes? So that type of thing. And those are just some of the questions that you can ask. Now, another way I love to research competitors is taking a look at pricing tools. Now, I want to pause here and point out that finding pricing intel is extremely difficult. It's actually the most difficult part of a lot of the competitor research that I do. Not every industry likes to publicly post their pricing. One industry that does tend to do that would be software as a solution or SaaS services. They tend to post their pricing on their website. And I do wish more businesses would do this because of transparency's sake. But a lot of competitors just don't price their solutions. They don't publicly put it out there. You usually have to fill out a form and talk to a salesperson to understand what they're charging. But there are 2 tools that I ran across. Candidly, I've not tried them myself because I'm not in this space, but here's 2 tools you could use if you are in the e-commerce space or you're selling a physical product. The first one is called Price Shape, and the second one is Price2, the number 2, Spy. Both of those offer pricing intel information, particularly targeted at e-commerce, and also for folks who are just selling physical products. Now, the last way that you can get competitor intel is to attend conferences or even online webinars. So if you show up at a conference, maybe you're gonna set up in the showcase area, look around you and see which competitors are there. That's another great place to see who are the key competitors. who's willing to spend money to get in front of customers, when they set up a booth, what does that booth look like, how do they talk to their customers. This is all intel you can gather when you're checking out what your competitors do. All of this is information that should go on and inform the decisions you make about your product design, your own pricing, how you're going to market your products, those types of things. I don't recommend just following exactly what competitors do, but if you're aware of the moves they're making, you can better understand how they're thinking strategically and see if you can find places to go out and win business against them.